Quran Unfolded.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. حاميم. تنزيل من الرحمن الرحيم. كتاب فصلت آياته قرآنا عربيا لقوم يعلمون.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum, brothers and sisters. Welcome again to Quran Unfolded, and we're talking about the minor and the major signs of the Day of Judgment. Alhamdulillah, we have with us again Dr El Habbash. Welcome, Dr El Habbash. Assalamu alaikum. And Dr El Habbash is our Sheikh, and he's going to be continuing talking to us about these signs, the minor signs leading into the major signs. So, inshallah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us the tawfiq, inshallah, to, again, Dr. El Habbash, welcome, inshallah.
Welcome to you. Thank you.
Jazakallah khairan. We're now in just past the middle of Ramadan, so things have been very, very hectic, I know, with yourself. So we decided, finally, we got now to come back to this. I'm really, again, always excited to hear you and the wisdom that you give us, inshallah ta'ala. So we left off the last time, we were talking about basically some of the signs, talking about where women will be clothed, but they will be in fact naked. What else did we talk about?
Well, the issues of the Islam itself, how people are practicing it.
Yes.
Sometimes going high, sometimes down. It's ups and downs of the practice of the Muslims of Islam. So we've talked about the trust, when the trust is given to people who are incapable of handling it. Talking about the women who are just walking, they seduce people by their appearance, clothing, but without not showing everything underneath, or at least showing a reality, or showing the dimensioning and the details of what's inside, even to the extent that their hair was going like the humps of the camel.
Yes.
And the Prophet prophesied that this was the situation would be. And about the silly people, the insignificant people who are talking or upfronting the public and talking about the major issues that concern the public.
Mm-hmm.
And today we'll continue on something similar to that.
Yes.
However, before just going further on the decline side or the degradation side of the practice of Islam, we have some promising prophecy. As the Prophet ﷺ said that لا يبلغن هذا الأمر ما بلغ الليل والنهار. That Islam will reach as far as day and night reaches, which means will reach every corner on the earth.
Yes.
ولا يبقى بيت وبر ولا مدر إلا أدخله الله في هذا الدين بعز عزيز أو بذل ذليل. And there will be no house on the earth, whether it is made of bricks or mud or made of wool of animals, without being influenced by the message of Islam.
No.
That all, you can see all the population on the earth, wherever they are, in the desert or in the towns or in the cities, Islam will reach them. They will be under the flag of Islam. So this is promising. And although this will not be now, we cannot see that the situation is leading to this. Our current situation of Muslims is very, very feeble, very weak. It's not promising that we will reach to that situation, but it is a prophecy, and definitely it will happen as other prophecies happen. So we come back to the decline of the way people are practicing Islam, the degradation of treating the religion. The Prophet ﷺ said that people will be focusing more on the superficial issues and neglecting about the essence of what they are doing. Take an example, building mosques. The mosque is supposed to be a place where people come, find tranquility, find peace of mind, and offer their prayer and go. Or maybe doing i'tikaf, staying, secluding themselves in some corner of the mosque and keep worshipping and so on. So it is not a place where people will be looking for views and nice images and nice decorations. But the Prophet ﷺ warned that a time will come when people will be boasting about the mosques. I built a huge mosque. I have the most decorated mosque, the most magnificent, attractive mosque. So this is the way people look at the place of worship. Something as
like a museum or something.
Exactly, more than being as a place of worship. So this is one of the signs, and I think we can see that happening these days. Other signs, which is the way of treating the Quran, how we deal with the Quran. The Prophet ﷺ told us that من قرأ القرآن فليسأل الله به. Who recites the Quran, then let him use this Quran to ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala through the Quran.
No.
If you want something from the Quran, then ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala about that. Giving you a reward in this life or the life hereafter. However, فإنه سيجيء أقوام يقرؤون القرآن ليسألون به الناس. At some stage, some people will come. They recite the Quran, but not for asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but for asking people. They want a reward from the people for reciting the Quran. And I think this is what's happening now. Most of the people are reciting, they recite for getting some benefit from that. Worldly benefit, I mean. Something else also, which is warning, that some deceptive time will come. Some deceptive time will come and people will be deceived by what's going on. سيأتي على الناس أيام خداعات أو سنوات خداعات. Some deceptive years will come and people will live these years. What's the sign of this deception? يصدق فيه الكاذب. The liars will be believed. People will believe the liars. They will reject the truthful. And they trust the untrustworthy or the cheater. And they will not trust the trustworthy person. So this time we can see in fact very good examples of how people can be leaders of countries, and they are cheaters, they are liars, and this is their assets that promoted them to be leaders. So all these, we can see them. As I said before, doesn't mean that it didn't happen, say 100 years ago or 200 years ago. But this is the minor signs always will repeat. So always will remind people, beware of the last hour. These are signs, be careful. So this is another sign. Other sign is the fragility of the faith in the hearts of the people. So the Prophet ﷺ warned us about that. He told us to intensify our good deeds. بادروا بالأعمال فتنا كقطع الليل المظلمة. Hasten to good deeds so that you will not be struck by tribulations by fitna, which is dashing onto you like the black nights, like the dark nights. What's the sign of this fitna? يصبح المرء مؤمنا ويمسي كافرا. In the morning, a person will come full of faith and belief. By the end of the day, he turned into kafir. So he forgot about his faith. Or the other way around. Coming in the morning, neglecting everything about his faith, and by the end of the day, he will want to come back to his faith.
This is talking about we're talking about the is this that is going to happen or is happening now?
No, this will come.
Okay.
So the Prophet ﷺ is telling us how to behave in this situation. This will happen or could happen. And be careful not to be among those people. And at the end, he concluded that a person will sell his religion for a little worldly benefit. It can switch his religion like that. Give me something, I will behave totally against Islam. Don't give me, I am a very good Muslim. So it is just a matter of trading. And we are 2 billion Muslim. And in fact, it's worthless, I can say. I don't consider more than that. It's worthless, standing in the world as nothing. Nobody is being humiliated from the other people, other than the Muslims. And they accept that. And sometimes they collaborate with those who are humiliating them to spread the humiliation among the other Muslims. One of the signs as well is something related to the blessing of the time. The blessing of the time, I mean, time itself is a blessing from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And one of the surahs, the short chapters, is called Al-Asr, which is the time. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is making an oath, Wal-Asr, making qasam with Al-Asr. إِنَّ الْإِنسَانَ لَفِي خُسْرٍ. By the time, surely a person is in loss. Except those who believe, الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ. Those who believe and did righteous deeds and counseled themselves to persevere in patience and to stand for truth. إِنَّ الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ وَتَوَاصَوْا بِالْحَقِّ وَتَوَاصَوْا بِالصَّبْرِ. So time is very important, very significant part in our life. However, near the end of the time, or one of the signs of the hereafter, that the time will have no blessing. It's called taqarub al-zaman, that the speed of time is going very fast. A year, you can say the blessing of that year is equal to 1 month, or the month equal to 1 year, 1 week. The week is equal to 1 day, and so on.
SubhanAllah, and we feel that now, especially during Ramadan.
In fact, everybody feels that.
Yes.
I mean, Ramadan is today, 17th day.
Yes.
And
it's like we just started. Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
SubhanAllah.
And Ramadan last year.
I remember that.
A few days ago. So that, and even the achievement, when you go to the early scholars, they used to write with a pen. Not a pen is easy to write, but you dip it in ink,
Yes.
write 2 words, dip again,
Yes.
write 2 words, and so on. They don't have computer to search for articles. They don't have references easy to extract things from them.
Yeah.
But they used to leave huge libraries of books. Now, just start reading a book and the night will come. Start in the morning and the night will come and you haven't finished anything. So the blessing, the time will diminish. And we can feel that, in fact. We can feel it. Although we have all the technology to make our production or powerful, but we don't. Especially in relation to what brings us in a better state in the hereafter.
Yeah.
Maybe they are active in doing pornography and doing bad things. They are very huge production. But in things good for the future, the blessing is not there.
I mean, just to pick up on that point as well, what you're saying, Dr. El Habbash, is that, like we're doing this podcast, for example, and it might be like 20 minutes long, but some people will be saying, no, it's too long. They want a TikTok, which is 1 minute. And I find that sad with a lot of, and I have to say, Muslims. I mean, we're not talking about non-Muslims, but Muslims themselves, that they take their knowledge from, a very short clip. Not all Muslims, obviously, whether it's a TikTok 1 minute video, and I think we need to change that if possible.
They don't bother to go deep. They don't bother to research.
Yeah.
Just listen a word, that's it. Good. I know everything now. So, I mean, this is, we can observe something that we can see. One thing also about the degradation of the firmness in the religion, that لا يكونن أقوام من أمتي, there will be some people from my ummah, يستحلون الحرى والحرير والخمر والمعازف. From my ummah, there will be people who will make halal illicit sex, will make halal wearing silk.
Yes.
For men, I mean, men wearing silk like women. Women, okay, to wear silk, but silk is forbidden for Muslim. And they find khamr, or intoxicants in general, they find it is okay. What's wrong with that? We don't need to get it drunk. We just have something to improve your focus or improve your attitude and so on. So they will make all this halal. And the ma'azif. Ma'azif is the musics and musical instruments and musical places. So all these together as a sign that people will be practicing these things.
I'm going to pick you up on that, Dr. El Habbash, because I myself, some people might, if they dig into my thing, like, almost Simon, he done music and this, and I've heard this hadith that you said before, and I wouldn't say I was knowledgeable or anything like that, but I have talked about it or debated with brothers about it, and I've read also some scholars, that would say how do you put it? Maybe you can talk, because maybe you can talk a bit about that particular hadith, because I can understand, the wearing of silk, the drinking of khamr, and this. But because I was, even before being a Muslim, I was, doing music, and I always tried to do music which was maybe I end up deleting this part, but I just had to bring it up to you. I was trying to do music which was I thought meaningful, whether you're singing about the beauty of creation or whatever like that. And I felt, I'm being honest, totally honest here in front of the audience, that, I didn't probably feel that I was doing anything wrong. But I mean, I don't do it now. I don't use musical instruments now. But let's say if there's someone who's using the musical instruments and he's making a beautiful song on a sheet or something like that with musical instruments, I wouldn't go to him and say, no, that's haram or whatever like that. So maybe you can clarify that, not just for me, but also for the viewers as well.
Yeah, in fact, this issue is a bit controversial.
Mm-hmm.
Some people say music is haram,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Some others say it depends. Depends what kind of music you are talking about. If it is a music that is going to agitate you and make you always jumping and
Yes. Inciting you basically
inciting you for something
for something not good.
It is a message, in fact.
Yes.
Music is a message.
Yes.
It could be nice, like for instance, the sound of the bird.
Yes.
It is very nice,
Mm-hmm.
especially if you go in the morning, walking to the mosque for Fajr prayer.
Yeah.
You hear the voice, the
Yes.
sound of the birds, which is very, very nice. If you have a music producing that voice, is that different? It's not different.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you have something recording that voice, not even music, recording that voice and playing it, it is very nice sound. If you
But
have
here specifically we're talking about, I mean, we're talking about musical instruments, right? If someone's using a musical
yeah,
instrument.
I mean, the same. I mean, the music instrument itself, why it is forbidden? If it is forbidden, I mean, why it is forbidden? Because of the sound they produce.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you have a musical instrument that doesn't produce sound, then it's not forbidden. If you have just a decoy, you have organ,
Mm-hmm.
but it doesn't give sound.
But you wouldn't have an organ if you didn't give sound, right?
Yeah, but that's why, I mean, so the reason, or the reason of being bad
Mm.
is using that instrument to give a sound, a certain sound.
Yes.
So now it depends on what sound is given. Like even people will forbid singing. And some people even interpreted one of the verses in the Quran as this is singing, means it's talking about singing.
Mm-hmm.
وَمِنَ النَّاسِ مَن يَشْتَرِي لَهْوَ الْحَدِيثِ. Among people,
Purchase
those
idle
who
talk.
purchase the idle talks.
Mm-hmm.
And they said, even he swore that, I swear that this is meaning ghina,
Yeah.
song, singing. Again, what's the meaning of singing? I mean, I can just read poetry, and especially the Arabic poetry, it is following a scale.
Yes.
So the way you read it looks like singing, even you are not intending, but the way you read it, even the Quran itself, when you read the Quran, because it has a kind of rhyme inside it,
Yes.
it looks like singing. So is this haram? I mean, we are commanded to sing the Quran. لَيْسَ مِنَّا, it's not among us, those who do not sing the Quran. Beautify your voice with the Quran.
Yes.
So, and the Prophet ﷺ used to listen to the Quran from other people. And he told them that I like to listen to the Quran from others, because he enjoys listening.
Mm-hmm.
The sound of the Quran itself is good, it's nice. So it's not haram. But if the singing is inciting you and inciting your subconscious inside to think about something, take you away from the religion or driving you to commit something wrong, then definitely this music is haram.
Yes. So it's not the singing as such, it's what it makes someone.
But still, it is controversial. This is my opinion.
Yes, it is
But it's-
controversial. Yeah, I agree, yes.
So the same for music. I mean, when you hear a sound, like a bird sound, whether coming from the bird or coming from an instrument, the sound, what I see, I don't see the instrument itself. I don't see the bird itself. I hear the voice, the sound from either this or that, and I feel kind of happy when I hear that. That happiness doesn't make it haram. It's not going to drive you to do something bad. So in this case, I mean, logically we can say it's not haram in this part, but if the music is used to drive you the wrong way, then this is haram.
Yes.
Now the word ma'azif, it means instruments, and without differentiation between any type of instruments. It could also mean places where people used to play instruments inside them. To me, yes, the places where people go and start playing different organs, I feel this is not good.
Yes, I agree with you completely. Like, most of it is like whether a nightclub and it's associated with drinking alcohol and all the other free mixing between that. So yeah, that's one of the reasons why. I mean, this is not our topic of conversation.
It is not.
But I mean, because you mentioned it and because I did singing before, being a Muslim, and even when I was a Muslim, so.
But also, if somebody is becoming dependent on the music, he cannot sit without playing the music. Also, it's wasting his time in something.
Yeah. Well, it's similar again to like someone like football or any sports or whatever.
Anything that is just wasting your time.
Yeah.
Your time, we are talking about time, it is a blessing.
Yes.
And we have to utilize it in the best way. And we'll be asked about the time.
No.
That the person will not leave the spot of the accounting at the time of the accounting unless he'll be asked about 4 things,
Yes.
5 things. One of them is your life, your time, how
And
you
how
spend
you
it.
spend it, yes.
So it's important to utilize our time in the best way.
Yes. And sorry for taking up your time and all this.
So
It's great having you and
I
actually.
don't want to say it as halal or haram. Still a controversial issue. But I come to the text itself, the hadith itself,
Yes.
as saying that the people will come, or some time people will come and they make illicit sex halal, they make khamr halal,
No.
they make silk halal. There are hadith that are our ayah from the Quran that will make these haram.
No.
So making these halal, they're explicit ayah to say they are haram. So he's contradicting the Quran or contradicting the Prophet ﷺ. But the khamr, for instance, is very clear, it's haram. Now the ma'azif instruments or music, there's no direct hadith explicit to say it is haram.
Mm-hmm.
Being joined with the other ones in that hadith doesn't make them they are the same.
Yes.
Not necessarily.
Yes.
Just a sign of the time that will come.
I understand much clearer, yeah.
But also I am not going
I'm not asking you for a fatwa either.
I'm not giving that.
Exactly.
I don't want to carry the sin of the people.
Exactly. We might end up deleting some of this.
Yeah.
Okay, continue.
Okay, so these are, we are not going in fact to mention all the minor signs. There are many. As I mentioned last time, some people say up to 500. You can collect anything and you can see this as a sign. We are not going much more further, but we'll come to some other, a kind of meta information that will help us a kind of making sequences of the minor signs leading towards the major signs. One sequence, the Prophet ﷺ said, ستغزون جزيرة العرب فيفتحوا عنها. You will conquer the Arab Peninsula and Allah will give you that victory. Then you will conquer, go to conquer Persia and Allah will give you that victory. Then you go to conquer Rome, which means the Roman Empire.
Yes.
And Allah will give you the victory in that. Then you will go to fight Dajal, the Antichrist, or the Messiah, and Allah will give you the victory against him. So there's a sequence. Now, we can say Jazirah al-Arab, the Arab Peninsula, has been under Islam since the time of Prophet ﷺ. So it's not going to be conquered again. The Persia, the same, Iran, you can say whatever sect they have, but still they're a Muslim country. And we don't expect that to be conquered again. Rome, now this would be some issue. How is it going to be conquered? We don't know. But Rome were conquered during the time of Umar and Abu Bakr, or the time of Umar maybe. They were they were colonizing Iraq, and Iraq was colonized by Persia, and Sham was colonized by Rome. So they were conquered, both they were conquered. So one can say they are conquered. So how is that going to be a sign of the last hour? Then the Dajjal. Dajjal is one of the first major sign. So these issues leading to to defeating Dajjal. Dajjal is the first of the 10 major signs. We have 10 major signs. Dajjal is the first one. Some scholars say, yes, the Arab Peninsula has been conquered and became under the flag of Islam. Persia is under the flag of Islam. Part of the Roman Empire came under the flag of Islam. And Dajjal, okay, is one of the major signs, it will come later. But these things, are we expecting to conquer them again? It could happen. If they are minor signs, and the minor signs could happen again.
Yes.
And the conquest of the Arab Peninsula, or the conquest of Persia, or the conquest of Rome, it's not necessarily to fight them and conquering another army. But it could be bringing them back to Islam, to the proper Islam.
Yes, yes.
And we have one of the minor signs, but very close to the major signs, who is the Mehdi. And we expect the Mehdi will bring Islam to everywhere. And we expect Islam to nourish during the time of Mehdi. Justice will prevail, and people will be in the best situation. So it could be another conquest of the Arabia that will happen, conquest of Persia.
Can I ask you something? The Mehdi himself, does he come with any kind of, we know that Dajjal himself, although he's the Antichrist, he comes with certain miracles. Does Mehdi himself,
just
an
ordinary person, he will come, and the Prophet ﷺ told us that he will be from the progeny of the Prophet's side.
Yes.
He's from Quraysh, at least. He's from Quraysh. And from the relatives of the descendants from the Prophet ﷺ's side. And his name will be similar to the name of the Prophet ﷺ. Muhammad ibn Abdullah, or something similar to his name. He will be just ordinary person. Then suddenly he will embrace Islam very strongly. And he has the dream to bring Islam, reform Islam again. So you can say he's a reformer.
Yes.
He's a reformer.
Yes.
And reformers, the Prophet ﷺ told us that Allah will send on every century a person to renovate Islam for the Sunnah, or to bring Islam back to the Sunnah. So Mahdi is one of these people, Mujaddid people, but he's not just talking about the religion, but he is practicing the religion.
And do we know, like, what as you said, that he will have a similar name to the Prophet ﷺ and so forth. Do we know what kind of area he will come from?
He will come from the Arabia because he's from Quraysh.
Yeah.
But maybe we leave this later because this will take the whole session.
Yes, okay.
It will take the whole session. So we're not going into the details of this. We just put in mind that
Yes.
Mehdi is one of the latest minor signs, and he has a great role in doing many things, not just one thing. Bringing Islam to everywhere, confronting the West, confronting even the people in the Arabia as well, because there are lots of battles that he will go into.
Yes.
People will come from Sham area to conquer him, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will punish them in the way. So they will be sliding in the earth and they will be swallowed. Another army will come as well to invade him, but also again Allah will finish them. So he has, we don't say these miracles, but these are blessings from Allah.
Yes, this is what I was going to say. He may not do miracles, but when you have the support of Allah,
Exactly, yeah.
that is in itself a miracle. Miracles, yeah.
So, and he will be one of the people who will conquer Constantinople. Again, the question, Constantinople is under Muslims. So how is going to conquer that? In fact, the repetition of these things. Conquering Constantinople, the Prophet ﷺ told us about it, that we'll conquer Constantinople. And he praised the army who is going to do that, and the leader of that army. فَنِعْمَ الْجَيْشُ جَيْشُهُ وَنِعْمَ الْأَمِيرُ أَمِيرُهُ. What a wonderful that army, what a wonderful that commander or that leader. So that happened a long time ago, but we don't forget about Constantinople. It was captured in 1918 by the Allies in the First World War. And it was captured for 5 years. Then it was restored back according to some international agreements. It may happen again, Constantinople to be taken and will be conquered again. So Mehdi will be among those who will conquer Constantinople. And the hadith that mentioned about that say that it will be conquered without fighting. There's no fighting, but we'll come back to Islam again without fighting. How is that going to be interpreted? We just leave it. We don't know. But something giving outlines. If there's no fighting, it will be brought back to Islam, restored to Islam. And Mehdi will be doing that. Some of the minor signs related to the Mehdi is the great battle.
The what?
Great battle. The war
Yes.
in Sham area.
Yes.
There's a great battle that will happen between the Muslim and the West.
Yes.
And that battle, in fact, mentioned in the other books in the Bible. It's called Armagedon.
Armageddon.
In Arabic, they say Armagedon, the same name. And the Mahdi will be involved in that battle. And they will defeat the West. The West will be defeating that one. In that time of the battle, when they won the battle, the Muslims won the battle, and they are busy in collecting the spoils of the war, somebody will come and tell them that the Dajal appeared in the Arabia. So that they stopped collecting the spoils. They sent some people to check, is that true or not true? They went and then they came back. So they found that it is not true. So they went to Constantinople to conquer it, but surrendered without any fighting. So they just entered the city with takbir and tahmid. So that's why I mentioned about the Mehdi, because there are some events related to that. which is the great battle of Armageddon, and the conquest of Constantinople. The hadith mentions also the conquest of Rome. So Rome as well will be under the flag of Islam. And that hadith I mentioned at the beginning, that Islam will enter every home on the earth, perhaps supporting that prophecies that Rome and Constantinople and other areas will be under the flag of Islam. The true Islam,
Yes.
even Persia and Arabia and Rome. There are some hadith as well talking about the sanctions against Iraq and Sham. Hadith talking about sanctions that the West would be, or it didn't say the West, but it says that the people of Iraq and Sham, they will be prevented from getting any source of supply for their life. People will put a siege around, blockade around them. In fact, we see the blockade now in Gaza, and we see the blockade in Sham, in Syria, still active, the blockade. And we know the blockade in Iraq a few years ago.
Yes.
So that happened. So the prophecies manifested, and the blockade was there. Other prophecies, we think about other prophecies. We don't want to go more about Mehdi because we will come back to it just before, because we'll have encounter with Jesus and have encounter with Dajal, all these things will happen at the same time. So we leave that. Maybe now we just talk about the major signs. Not talk about them, but mention them.
Yes.
Mention them for the sake of trying to overlap minor and major sign. Sometimes Mehdi, for instance, is in between.
Yes.
And the signs, the minor signs, will go diffuse into the major signs. As the Prophet said in one hadith, he mentioned 10 signs for as the major signs. The first sign is the Dajal, or the anti-Messiah, anti-Christ. The second sign, Gog and Magog.
Yes.
And Gog and Magog mentioned in the Quran and mentioned in the Bible as well. After Gog and Magog, there are signs. In fact, the Prophet did not mention the signs in order. He mentioned them just as a prophecy, this will happen.
Yes.
As major signs. What else will happen? Gog and Magog. Gog and Magog, Jesus will kill the real Messiah.
Yes.
I mentioned this, the Messiah.
Yes, you did say that before. Isa alayhi salam
Will come.
will kill the Dajjal.
Exactly. After that, we said the Messiah, Gog and Magog, and Allah will send a kind of worm or parasite or whatever, it will kill them.
Yes.
So we'll go. What else will come after that? Now 3 major signs. Then we have the beast, and we have the sun that will change its course.
Yes.
So the sun will come from the west,
Yes.
and the beast will come and will be talking to people and telling, you are kafir, you are believer, you are kafir, you are believer. So now it distinguishes the kafir from the unkafir. That beast.
The beast. Okay, the beast. This is completely different from Dajjal.
No, beast is different.
It's-
You mean that beast in that was reported by Tamim al-Dari a long time ago. It's different.
Okay. Because I know sometimes the Christianity talks about the beast has a mark 666 or whatever like that. Which we don't know that we believe in it as Muslim, but just like when you mentioned Dajjal, I just wondered whether there's a connection
No.
between
No, it's different. And this will come like the camel of Prophet Saleh. It was a big rock. And
yes,
as a miracle, Allah made it as a camel, a she camel.
yes,
So the beast will come. How is it going to come? We don't know. But the hadith says that a beast that will come. And the Quran says,
the Quran mentions that.
it
Yes.
mentioned that it will be talking to the people.
Mm.
At the same time as the sun reversing its path.
Yes, the
Rather
sun.
coming from the east, it will come from the west. Now this is very critical sun. The sun coming from the west. This is the biggest sign.
Yes,
Why it is the biggest sign? Because the deeds will not benefit the person if he is not a believer before.
yes,
Whatever you do, whatever you say, it will not be accepted.
mm-hmm.
Once the sun came from the west, then don't bother about becoming a Muslim or doing a good thing. It will not benefit you.
Yes,
The example of that is a person, any person who is at the time of death. Once he is reaching the state of death, then whatever he does is
yes.
not benefiting.
And the Quran mentioned
Fir'aun.
what's it called?
Fir'aun.
Yes, I know. The Arabic word. I love the Arabic word.
حتى إذا أدركه الغرق.
Yes,
When he was about to drown, قال آمنت أنه لا إله إلا الذي آمنت به بنو إسرائيل. I believe in the God that Banu Israel, the
Yes.
Israelites, believed in.
yes.
وأنا من المسلمين, and I'm
And
submitted.
I'm now Muslim. Yeah.
So Allah saying, الآن وقد عصيت قبل وكنت من المفسدين. Now you are saying that you believe in the God of Banu Israel and you want to become Muslim.
When you were a tyrant before, yes.
When you were tyrant before and corrupt. So the same for the sun rising from the west. People will see it, trying to mend their behavior, mend their faith. That will not benefit them. That will not avail them. So I mentioned now 5.
Can we recap on that quickly?
Okay, the first one, Dajal,
Yep.
the Antichrist or Anti-Messiah. The second one, Jesus,
Mm-hmm.
peace be upon him. The third one is the
Gog and Magog.
Gog and Magog, yes.
Yes.
Gog and Magog. Then the sun coming from the west and the beast. that is
Fourth and
talking
then
to the
fifth, yeah.
people. Then after that, now this is the last sign that Muslims will observe. The others will not be observed by Muslims. They will die and they will not see the other signs. Why they will die? The 6th sign, that will be smoke coming from the
Yes.
sky, and all the Muslims will die. How is that smoke? Why is it targeting Muslims? Could be biological, it could be gases, could be whatever, we don't know. But something will happen, then the Muslims will disappear in the 6th sign. After the beast and after the sun coming from the west, the smoke will come, number 6, and the Muslims will die.
I think it's important to mention as well to our viewers what you've always said in previous discussions, that you said instead of anybody waiting for those things to happen, they should look, in fact, at their own death.
Of course, I mean, for us, we hope we'll not see that. We believe that we are believers, inshallah.
No.
So we'll not see the beast or the sun coming from the west. Then there are 3 signs coming after that. A slide in the earth from the east.
The what?
Slide. The earth will be slide
Okay.
in the eastern part. And another slide will happen in the west. And another slide in the Arabia. So these slides 3 plus 6, 9.
What do you mean slide, like an earthquake?
I mean, the slide is like that. And some
Okay.
will swallow the people.
Yes, it's like an earthquake or movement of the
It could,
plates or whatever.
could be a result of earthquake. Then the last major sign, is that the fire will come from the southern part of the Arabia and will be driving the people towards the gathering place in Sham. So these are the 10 signs. Now there are some other signs, but still we consider them as minor signs coming within the major signs. For instance, the demolition of Kaaba. Kaaba has been demolished many times. Could be by natural causes, by rain, by whatever, and could be deliberate bombardment of trucks, demolish the Kaaba. So after the sun coming from the west and the east, there will be one, it's called the Suwayqin, who will come from this side of Ethiopia and will come and he will knock down the Kaaba piece by piece, finish. And in fact, it is not needed at that time because all the Muslims have gone after the smoke. So this is another sign that Kaaba will be demolished. Now, the last four signs, perhaps doesn't concern us as Muslims, because we hope we are not living after the sun coming from the west. So our main focus will be on the first 6 signs.
Yes.
From the Dajal to the smoke that will kill the believers. So we freeze it at this stage.
Yes.
So in the future we'll still talk about minor signs and try to link them with the major signs. What Isa alayhi salam did, what the Messiah did, what the Mehdi did, what the capabilities and what the Antichrist will do. All these things we try to cover them some detail, inshallah.
Jazakallah khairan, Abu Hisham, barakallahu feek. Really enjoyed it. And Jazakallah khairan to yourself for watching the show. Hope you enjoyed it. As usual, I enjoyed it so much. And don't forget to press the subscribe button if you like the show. So the next time we're going to be doing, this was episode 3. The next time will be episode 4, inshallah. Hopefully before the end of Ramadan, bi'idhnillah. Again, to yourselves, have a great Ramadan, a great Eid, until we see you again, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Assalamu alaikum.
كتاب فصلت آياته قرآنا عربيا لقوم يعلمون